So, as I just said, that is a perfect segue into almost the mirror opposite movies that should become games. Now, making this list, Jim and I both had a list of movies that should become games that was just like, we'd like to see a better game of X, Y, and Z. So I really thought about it, and I actually came up with at least two that I know are not video games. So just hear me out. The first one, you basically take any Quentin Tarantino movie and turn it into a Telltale game. If you know Telltale games, they're just narrative-driven games, where you make a decision and you just kind of watch a movie. You take that and apply it to, you could literally name anything. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards. It doesn't matter. It could easily lend itself, and if they actually manage to get Quentin Tarantino, on the writing team for that, it would be friggin' awesome. So, that was my first idea. My second idea, and this is a little more obscure, so you're going to have to stick with me on this. The movie American Psycho with Patrick Bateman. If you could somehow kind of combine the elements of the Hitman series and Eternal Darkness, for those of you unaware of Eternal Darkness, you have this sanity meter that basically you go crazier and crazier, kind of like Patrick Bateman does. And basically the only way to lower that urge is to kill people. And if you don't, you go on a killing spree and you get your likelihoods of getting caught increasing. Crazy idea, I know, but that's some shit I would play.
Not bad. All right, I've got two, I'd say. Now, one you already kind of pointed out that there are games already, but my first one was going to be The Running Man. And I know you told me that, I guess whenever the Amiga had the most famous version, I'm talking North America here, we really didn't get it. So I'd love to see a modern, almost Smash TV mixed with I don't know what.
You wouldn't want a more modern style game, I'm trying to think, in terms of the new Tomb Raider style, or a GTA, or even an open world FPS. You would want to get a classic style for that,
I'd
an
want
overhead
more of I want it more in a today's kind of graphical and audio sense, but I'd almost prefer a stage by stage, almost complete boss rush kind of game, with different areas and different strengths and weaknesses to go against each one of them. So almost kind of choosing weapons in, say, a Mega Man game, but in a more boss rush kind of style and more, in a 3D environment. Or if someone wanted to make it in if you want to make a Mega Man game kind of like that, then there you go. But I also want to do one of my favorite movies of all time is Falling Down. So that's the game I think you could really do a good, a really good GTA-style game with that. And I would actually like to see it from both main characters' perspectives. So you have it from defense trying to get to his daughter, but the cops are in his way, and he's going through all of his craziness, while the detective's trying to track him down and stop him from, hurting more people. So I think you could get two really fleshed out stories out of that and really expand and make it even more ridiculous than it already is.
Yeah, I think that could actually be a very realistic GTA mod.
Also could be a mod, yep. And
yeah,
PC
because
people
that definitely lends itself to that. But yeah, before we leave this topic, to Jim's point, when I talked about games that already existed, my first two games I put down were Underworld, which only had a European game release, which apparently that game kind of sucked. I've never played it. I've only seen some limited footage of it, but that's an obvious movie for me, or a movie for me that should be a game. Makes sense. And then the other one is actually escaping me right now, so I'm just going to say I forget.
Yeah, I just missed the last few minutes because my controller turned off because I wasn't using it.
Alrighty.
So I didn't hear what you just said. Haha.
Well, with that, I think that's Jim. You got anything else to add to that topic before we drop off of it?
Nah, I don't have anything for that right now, but I think we actually came up with some pretty good bullshit.